as well as wearing your face mask and personal protective equipment at all times. Please remember to express your affection with decorum and respect. For those who are following the live broadcast, I suggest that during your connection to this event, you avoid other simultaneous connections such as Netflix or YouTube to ensure the stability of your network. I recommend having your cell phone handy to connect from there in case of power or internet service failure. Please rise to welcome our authorities. Thank you. Please be seated. The Honorable Board of Governors of Universidad La Salle, within the framework of the 60th anniversary of this university and of La Salle University Education in Mexico, welcomes you to the honorary Doctorate Conferment Ceremony to present the highest distinction awarded by this educational institution.
Within the framework of the 16th anniversary of this university and of La Salle University Education in Mexico, welcomes you to the public session for the honorary doctorate conferment ceremony to present the highest distinction awarded by this educational institution.
Presiding over this ceremony are Dr. Robert Schiller, Superior General of the Institute of the Brothers of the Christian Schools, Brother Pedro Álvarez Arenas, Chair of the Board of Governors, Brother José Francisco Flores Gamio, President of Universidad La Salle, Mexico, Roberto Medina Luna Anaya, Vice President of the Board of Governors, Dr. Ángel Ricardo Guevara Hernández, Secretary of the Board of Governors, Professor José Antonio Vargas Aguilar, Dr. Lucio Tácer Describer, Dr. Enrique González Álvarez, Professor María Solange Maqueo, Dr. Joan Weisenberger de Landeros, Professor Sara Roldán Roldán, Professor Antonio Damián Basurto, Professor Julio Gordillo Méndez, Members of the Board of Governors, Professor Jorge Manuel Iturbe Bermejo, Dr. Eduardo Gómez Ramírez, Professor Alejandro Torres González. Permanent guests, please give them a round of applause. The honorary doctorate degree will be conferred on Frida Díaz Barriga, Carlos Gabriel Gómez Restrepo, María Dolores Morales Pérez, Carmelita Cuevenco, Lucio Tácer Describer, Robert Schiller. It is an honor to welcome Brother Carlos Castañeda Casas, visitor of the District of Northern Mexico, Brother Luis Franco Aguado, Assistant Visitor of the District of South Mexico, Brother Andrés Govela Gutiérrez, President of the International Association of La Salle Universities and President of Universidad La Salle Nezahualcóyotl, Dr. María de Lourdes Lavaniegos González, President of the La Salle Universities Network in Mexico and President of Universidad La Salle, Pachuca, Brother Bernard Oca, President of the La Salle University in Philippines. We also welcome the presidents of the La Salle Universities Network in Mexico, faculty and school directors, training and academic support coordinations that are part of the university, emeritus professors and researchers, collaborators distinguished with the St. John Baptist de La Salle Medallion, members of the University Study Council of the Universidad La Salle Autonomous Labor Union, as well as the parents' community, representatives of social sectors, private initiative, government, and the church, LaSallian brothers, researchers, faculty members, alumni, students, and special guests. We also greet those who are following this live broadcast from around the 5 continents. All friends at De La Salle, please give them a big round of applause. I would like to invite Brother Pedro Álvarez Arenas, Chair of the Board of Governors, to deliver his opening remarks for this public session. At 6 p.m. on Tuesday, February 22nd, 2022, and having confirmed the necessary quorum, I declare open the public session of the Board of Governors, whose only item to be developed is investiture with the honorary doctorate distinction within the framework of the 60th anniversary of Universidad La Salle. I would like to highlight the participation in this session of Brother Robert Schiller, Superior General of the Institute of the Brothers of the Christian Schools, who I ask to deliver his welcome remarks.
Thank you, Brother Pedro. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for this honor you confer on me today and my fellow honorees, those present here with me, and Dr. Carmelita Cabenco in Manila, in the Philippines. Thank you for the privilege to participate in this
Gracias por el privilegio
for La Salle University.
Que me confieren para trabajar y venir a visitar la Universidad La Salle en México.
Look forward to hearing Brother Carlos's presentation on our behalf. Today's celebration is a testament to this university's commitment to our founding charism. That founding charism, we must remember, was a LaSallian project born on the frontiers of dehumanization. La Salle and the First Brothers, impressed by the human and spiritual distress of the poor, created the Christian schools to generate possibilities of access to knowledge and to salvation to those who were marginalized from education. The declaration of the LaSallian educational mission, Challenges, Convictions, and Hopes, is a recent Institute publication. This important document invites us to offer a relevant LaSallian pedagogy of human and Christian education for the 21st century. For nearly 3.5 centuries, our institute has educated generations of children and young people, and at that time, it has faced, with varying degrees of success, challenges of all kinds. At the present time, in our commitment to integral and sustainable human development that benefits all, we must increase our efforts to educate individuals who are aware of their fragility made evident by the pandemic, but also sensitive supportive, collaborative, respectful, and committed to the health of the planet, our common home. As an international institute, we must also support global solidarity. To build fraternity with our sisters and brothers is a fundamental characteristic of the Lasallian charism. Today, we are increasingly aware that the fate of the planet requires an option for solidarity and universal humanism. The declaration of the Lasallian mission also reminds us that we are people of hope. The power of hope renews and strengthens our commitment to human and Christian education of children, young people, and adults, because in them we find the face of God and the best expression of what is deeply human. It also challenges us, as it courageously points out, that our commitment to what is deeply human and to an education that is coherent with reality compels us to overcome the temptation to create or maintain successful schools and universities in fractured and unfeasible societies due to the practical ignorance of human rights and respond to inequalities, or else schools and universities will fail to due to their inability to update and respond to changes in our world, the world that is transforming and evolving. The Lasallian proposal, fueled by faith, hope, and an ardent zeal, transcends the temptation of self-preferentiality and commits itself to the cause of humanity and the permanent cause of the Church that summons men and women of goodwill. That is what generations of Lasallians who have preceded us have done. That is what the founders of this university did. And without a doubt, we will do the same. May God sustain us in our endeavor. Thank you again, and God bless this university and all who are an integral part of it.
I thank Brother Superior General for his message and his presence here today. Now I give the floor to the Master of Ceremonies. Thank you, Brother Álvarez Arenas. Since 1996, Universidad La Salle has conferred the honorary doctorate degree on persons who have made an exceptional contribution to the promotion and development of moral, cultural, or civic values in humanities, science, or arts for the benefit of humanity. This distinction is conferred by the Board of Governors upon the recommendation of the President. Universidad La Salle has invested with this degree the following personalities: Dr. John Johnston, Dr. Chiara Lubich, Dr. Mariano Ramírez de Collado, Dr. Ojanes Bulbulyan Garavejan, Dr. Rafael Martínez Cervantes, Dr. Olegario Vázquez Raña, Dr. Alfredo Harpeliu, Dr. Álvaro Rodríguez Echeverría, Dr. John Weisenberger de Landeros, Dr. Manuel Arroyave Ramírez, Dr. José Fernández Cangas, Dr. Alejandro Joaquín Martí García, Dr. José Saraucán Kermes. I would like to invite Dr. Ángel Ricardo Guevara Hernández, Secretary of the Board of Governors, to read the minutes of the session in which the distinctions were approved. At the ordinary session of the Honorable Board of Governors held on November 26, 2021, based on the favorable opinion of the University Council, based on the 14th title, Chapter 2, Articles 202 to 203 of the General Regulations of the universities that make up the educational system of the La Salle universities, and considering the personal background and moral quality, professional merits, and exceptional contribution to the promotion of humanities, science, or art, the social resonance of their personal and professional background, the communion of their work with Lasallian values, this Board of Governors decided to award the distinction of Honorary Doctor from Universidad La Salle to Frida Díaz Barriga, Carlos Gabriel Gómez Restrepo, María Dolores Morales Pérez, Carmelita Cuevenco, Robert Schiller, and Lucio Tasser Desdriver. The rector of the university is instructed to notify the awardees and to arrange for the investiture ceremony to be held in a public session in February 2, 2022, this act. Thank you, Brother Guevara Hernández. Now, Brother José Francisco Flores Gamio, President of Universidad La Salle, Mexico, will give a message to the university community. Those who are wise will shine as bright as the sky, and those who lead many to righteousness will shine like the stars forever. Brother Robert Schiller, Superior General of the Institute of the Brothers of the Christian Schools, Brother Pedro Álvarez Arenas, Chairman of the Honorable Board of Governors, Honorable members of the Board of Governors, Brother Carlos Castañeda Casas, visitor from the District of Northern Mexico, Brother Andrés Covela Gutiérrez, President of YALU and President of Universidad La Salle en Nezahualcóyotl, Dr. Lourdes Lavaniegos González, President of La Salle Universities Network in Mexico, respected presidents of the La Salle Network of Universities in Mexico, Brother Bernard S. Oka, President of the La Salle University, Manila, Philippines, Brother Carlos Gómez Restrepo, President of the Catholic University of Ethiopia, Brother Lucio Tácer Describer, Dr. Carmelita Cuevenco, Dr. Frida Díaz Barriga Arceo, Dr. Dolores Morales Pérez. Honored former presidents of the La Salle Universities Network in Mexico. Distinguished authorities of Universidad La Salle. Dear faculty members and administrative staff of our university. Dear students of the different programs of Universidad La Salle, respected parents, dear alumni, brothers and all friends who join us here, or those who are following us through the virtual platform, welcome. Within the framework of the 60th anniversary celebration of service of Universidad La Salle México and of La Salle University education in the country, it is an honor for me to share with the university community the career and background for which the Honorable Boards of Governors of Universidad La Salle has decided to confer these 6 honorary doctorates. As you surely can notice, this particular ceremony has many signs of what La Salle has been and wants to be today and the years to come. The first sign is in the number of persons to whom the doctorate degree is conferred, representing each of the 6 decades of uninterrupted work of Universidad La Salle since its founding on February 15, 1962. The second sign is that there are 3 women among the 6 new honorary doctorates. In them, the Honorable Board of Governors recognizes the fundamental role of women since the founding of Universidad La Salle to the present day. La Salle, as well as the Church, Mexico, and the whole world, cannot be understood today without women. They are, in their own nature, strength, life, and love. In their attributes, intelligence, persistence, and skill. And in their values, dignity, excellence, and commitment. I dare express all the recognition that the university community makes in these 3 women, to all the women who have forged Universidad La Salle during these 60 years. Members of the Board of Governors, directors, coordinators, teachers, administrators, students, mothers, and service of personnel. I also wish our 3 awardees to possess all the richness that our university community expects to receive from these female members in the next 60 years and more. While conferring the honorary doctorate degree, the Board of Governors emphasized that, in addition to the merits of each of these 6 individuals, it is the university itself that is honored by the academic, professional, and personal careers and backgrounds of each of them. One of the main convictions that moves La Salle in Mexico and in the world is that education is fundamental as a privileged tool to the full development of human beings and the transformation of our society. The third sign is that the 6 awardees have a clear educational commitment. And it is not a coincidence, but a sign that Universidad La Salle recognizes in this sense the background of tonight's honorees who have contributed in an exceptional way to education in their environment with different modalities that provide the answers that children, young people, and adults need in the education that it's been offered to them. Our new honorary doctorates have worked from teaching to higher education and education for life. They have worked in classical systems and in non-formal education. They have reached from the most marginalized neighborhoods to the well-to-do. They have enriched both urban and rural populations with their talents. They have worked with multi-ethnic groups and indigenous people. They have contributed from curriculum design and methodologies to piloting and field practice. They have been researchers, generators, and transformers of knowledge. They have worked with second-hand and recycled materials and with information and communication technologies. The people who have benefited from their educational contributions are girls as well as boys, men as well as women. So they have worked both on the soil where they were born and in places beyond the borders of their own country and their own culture and language. That brings us to a fourth sign, internationality. Among our honorees, there are 3 Mexicans, Dolores, Frida, and Lucio, and 3 others of different nationalities, Carmelitas from the Philippines, Carlos from Colombia, and Robert from the United States of America. In such a pluralistic and globalized world, which is constantly threatened by tensions and wars, it is a Christian and Lasallian tradition and conviction that we need to focus on everything that unites us to overcome all of our differences. The 6 new honorary doctors represent for our university community that international dimension, or rather global and universal characteristic of La Salle. Specifically, Universidad La Salle is a member of the International Association of La Salle Universities, YALU, which brings together more than 60 La Sallian universities in the world. And it is a great satisfaction that Universidad La Salle México has contributed to the La Salle University world with the collaborative online international learning model, better known as COEL. La Salle is a global educational network of a Christian inspiration, serving students who are Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, etc., and even without any creed of any kind,
Todas y todos
all
ungidos
united
por
by
los
the
valores universales del Evangelio
universal values
como el
of the
respeto,
gospel of
la
Jesus,
tolerancia,
such as
el
respect,
amor y la
tolerance,
atención a las
love,
personas
and care
más vulnerables.
for the most vulnerable.
Pasemos ahora al quinto signo.
We move
Las
to
tres
our
nuevas
fifth sign.
doctoras y tres nuevos doctores han atendido en su quehacer
The three new
educativo
doctors,
a personas provenientes
the
de
six new doctors
situaciones
have
de
attended in
vulnerabilidad.
their educational work people coming from
Doctora
vulnerable
Frida
situations.
Arceo ha
Doctora Frida
apoyado
Díaz
la
Barriga
transición a la vida
Arceo has
independiente
supported the
de
transition
jóvenes
to
con
independent
discapacidad intelectual,
living
de
of young
estudiantes en
people with
situación de
intellectual
vulnerabilidad académica
disabilities
y social.
and students in situation of academic and social
Doctora Carmelita
vulnerability.
Cuevenco
Dr.
ha
Carmelita
trabajado en un
Cuevenco has
programa
worked in an
educativo para
educational
personas con
program
discapacidad
for
auditiva,
persons with disability,
comunidades de pueblos originarios en Filipinas.
peoples from indigenous origin in the
Doctora
Philippines.
Dolores Morales Pérez
Dr. Morales
ha
Perez
dedicado la mayor
has
parte de su
dedicated
vida
most of her
a un
time
centro de formación de
and
docentes
life
de
to a
procedencia
training
indígena
center for
para que
teachers of
regresen a
indigenous
sus lugares de
origin
origen
so that they can
como
return
educadores.
to their places of origin as educators.
Doctor Lucio Tácer de Schreiber ha
Dr. Lucio
apoyado
Tácer
desde la
Describer
Universidad
has
La Salle
supported from
a obras populares como
Universidad La
la Salle
Salle
de
popular
Ayahuasca,
works
Internado
such as
Infantil
La
Guadalupano,
Salle de
Universidad La Salle
Ayahualulco,
de Zagualcoyo.
Internado Infantil Guadalupano, and Universidad La
Doctor
Salle en
Carlos Gómez
Nezahualcóyotl.
Restrepo, fundador
Dr.
de
Carlos
Utopía
Gómez Restrepo,
Colombia
founder
en
of the
Colombia,
Utopia
como
project in
modelo
Colombia,
educativo para la construcción
as
de la
educational
paz y el
models for the
desarrollo
construction
rural.
of peace and rural
Doctor
development.
Robert Schiller
Dr.
fue
Robert
misionero en
Schiller
Filipinas por
was a
13
missionary
años
for 13 years in
y
the
durante su
Philippines.
mandato de 8 años como superior general
During
ha
his
impulsado una importante
8-year
renovación del
mandate, he has
instituto
promoted an
y la
important
misión
renewal
educativa
of the
franciscana en el
Institute and the
mundo,
La Salle
en la
educational
que
mission,
tienen un papel
in
relevante
which
los estudiantes
the
menos
less favored
favorecidos.
students have a relevant role.
Este quinto signo en particular, la
This fifth
educación a los
sign in
menos
particular,
favorecidos, queremos que sea una fuente de inspiración
we
para
wanted to
todos
be
los
a
lasallenses.
source of inspiration for all
Nos
Lasalians.
celebramos 60 años de
We are
crear,
celebrating 60
crear y
years of
transformar.
inspiring, creating, and transforming.
Cierro mi participación con el sexto
And
y
I
último signo.
conclude my participation with the
Consiste
sixth
en
sign.
aprender del pasado,
It consists on learning
mirar
from the
el
past,
presente con pasión y el
looking at the
futuro con
present with
esperanza.
passion, and the future
Las
with hope.
trayectorias de las 6 nuevas doctoras y doctores honoris causa nos
The careers
inspiran
of the
a
6 new
caminar hacia la
honorary
educación del
doctorates inspire
futuro.
us to
Una
move
educación que sea
towards the
modular y
education of the
flexible
future,
para
an
responder de manera
education
más pertinente a
that
las
is modular and
necesidades
flexible
personales de
to respond
formación
in a more
y
relevant way
ante
to
los
personal training
cambios
needs,
en el mercado
and thus
laboral.
meet the changes
Con una
in the labor
arquitectura abierta
market,
y una educación para
with
la
an
vida,
open
en la que
architecture
damos la
and education
bienvenida a
for
la
life,
interdisciplinariedad para un
in
aprendizaje
which we welcome
involucrado con la
interdisciplinarity
resolución de los
for
problemas
learning
reales del entorno
involved with the
y que hace de
resolution
la
of real
tecnología su
problems,
aliada para llegar cada vez más
and
a
that
más
makes technology
personas
its
con menos
ally
recursos.
to reach more people with fewer resources.
Han sido 6 las décadas de educación
There have been
universitaria
6 decades
precisa,
of La Salle
6
University
advientos
education,
signos que resaltan
and there are
en esta
also 6
ceremonia
signs
del
that stand out in the
60º
60th anniversary.
Les invito a que tengamos un corazón agradecido
So I
a Dios
invite you to have a
por
grateful
la
heart to God,
presencia de la comunidad
the
lasallista
presence of
mundial
the Lasallian
congregada
community
por esta
globally
celebración de 60 años de
gathered
educación
for this
universitaria
60-year
lasallista
celebration of
en México,
Lasallian University
donde
education in Mexico,
refiere que la utopía es
highlights
un
that
sueño
utopia
posible.
is a possible dream.
Llenémonos de esperanza, pues ante nuestros ojos, los de
So let
todos
us
que estamos aquí
be filled with
presentes
hope,
y quienes nos siguen de manera virtual,
because all of
estamos
us who are here
unidos
today, those who are
en
following
transmisiones
us
que
virtually,
vinculan
are
desde África
united
hasta
in
Norteamérica,
transmissions
desde
that link from
Sudamérica hasta
America to
Asia
North
y
America,
desde América
from South
Latina
America to
y el
Asia,
Caribe
and from Latin
hasta
America
Europa y
and the
Oceanía,
Caribbean to
a
Europe
los
and
lasallistas de
Oceania
todas
to
las
Lasallians
latitudes.
of of all latitudes. So we perceive with great optimism and satisfaction that the associative charism inspired by Saint La Salle today is reflected in so many women and men around the world who assume the La Sallian mission and look at it as a commitment of vocational life, of committed citizens who give value to the society they live in. So let us lift up our spirits. La Sallian education has a future, thanks to the fact that the La Sallian educational mission responds in the present and surely will in the future to the formative needs of children, adolescents, young people, and adults on the 5 continents. A special satisfaction for Universidad La Salle is represented by its 88,000 graduates 60 years after beginning its services. Our university has had a positive impact on society, and it is the task of present and future generations of graduates to continue with the commitment of social impact. The road is not easy. The pandemic has showed us that we will always be challenged by different circumstances, in any place, at any time. So let us not lose sight of the horizon, because it will give us the energy and safety in our steps to achieve our dreams. I keep thinking about the expression that Dr. Julio Frank left us a week ago when he dedicated his first lecture. He said that it's not the case. It's not a matter of going back to a new normal, but creating a better normal. So we can change reality if we are capable of dreaming of a better world, fairer, and more united, resulting in peace and harmony. Inspired on the universal values of the gospel of Jesus, let us continue to walk together in communities of faith, brothers, lay people, students, parents, men and women, graduates, volunteers, and those who sympathize with the La Sallian educational mission, with a spirit of passion and transcendence in fraternity for service. God bless us, and Mary, Mother of God, protects us, and Saint John Baptist de La Salle inspire us. Thank you very much. And because what is united sees the dawn again, in Divisa Mater. Their perseverance in piety will be a great cause of consolation for you when you call to mind the result of their faith and of your instruction. St. John Baptist de La Salle, Meditation 207. We will proceed to the investiture of the new honorary doctors. I invite you to know the career of Frida Díaz Barriga. Frida Díaz Barriga was born in Mexico City in 1955. She holds a BA in Psychology and MA
de México,
in Educational
graduándose de
Psychology.
ambas con mención honorífica. En En 1998 se graduó del doctorado en
1998,
Pedagogía en la Facultad de
she obtained
Filosofía y
her
Letras.
doctorate in pedagogy from the Faculty of Philosophy and Letters. She began her teaching career in 1977 in classrooms, daycare centers, shelters. In 1999, she joined the SIN of CONACYT and is currently a Level 3 researcher. She has specialized in curriculum development and evaluation, as well as educational design, evaluation, and teacher training, as well as information and communication technologies and formal and informal education. She participates in the International Network of Curriculum Studies, and she joined the team of Ibero-American experts in education and ICTs in 2007. She is founder and coordinator of the research group of teaching and a research laboratory at UNAM. She has received the medals Gavino Barreda and Sor Juana Inés de la Cruz by UNAM, the Doctorate Honoris Causa in Education Sciences in 2016, the Ibero-American Award in Excellence in Educational Research in 2019. She has taught many courses, master lectures in countries like Mexico, Spain, Colombia, among others. She has more than 275 publications and has directed 122 bachelor's, master's, and doctoral theses. She has led 20 nationally and internationally funded research projects that have provided strategies for problem solving and innovation in education. This evening, the honorary doctorate is conferred for her contribution to the strengthening and of university education through curricular methodology, in addition to her outstanding career as a researcher and disseminator in the areas of teaching, educational design, and information and communication technologies. Each recipient receives a hood which protects him or her in the labor to continue with his or her work as a laborer in the vineyard of the Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, Doctor Honoris Causa from Universidad La Salle, Dr. Frida Díaz Barriga. Let us now see the career of Carlos Gabriel Gómez Restrepo. Carlos Gabriel Gómez Restrepo was born in Colombia in 1960 and joined the De La Salle brothers in 1979. He studied a bachelor's degree in education and a master's in political science at the Pontificia University Javeriana. He has a doctorate from St. Mary's University of Minnesota. He was a professor, academic vice rector, and rector of Universidad La Salle, Bogotá. Under his leadership, he transformed educational processes and built an educational research program. As secretary of the Latin American region, he promoted the Latin American La Sallan educational project Perla. He united and inspired many La Sallian works in the continent. He was visitor of the La Sallian district of Bogotá, and since 2021 he has been rector of the Ethiopian Catholic University in Addis Ababa. He always understood the school as a builder of equality, peace, and development, especially in places of conflict and violence. He built the Utopia Project, a peace laboratory and university campus. This project unites academic quality, sustainable agriculture, social impact, and knowledge transfer, making peace possible through education and allows young people the possibility and an opportunity to dream. He received the Paula Santander Civil Medal, the highest distinction for educators in Colombia, and the National Peace Award, National Solidarity Award, and Jesus Maestro Award from the Latin American Confederation of Catholic Education. He received an honorary doctorate from St. Mary's College of California and recently the Inter-American Prize Award. This evening, the honorary doctorate is conferred for his adherence and commitment to the La Sallian educational mission, for his animation of various educational institutions, and for the International Association of La Salle Universities, for his leadership in a leadership program in Latin America, and for his actions to promote peace and strengthen the social fabric. Each recipient receives a cap as a symbol of distinction and merit. Ladies and gentlemen, Doctor Honoris Causa of Universidad La Salle, Carlos Gabriel Gómez Restrepo. Now we will look at the career of María Dolores Morales Pérez. María Dolores Morales Pérez was born on October 26, 1940 in Puebla. In 1961, she studied a course of general culture and languages in Stella Vie, Rome. This changed the course of her life. She wanted to go to India as a missionary, but she started working first in Mexico with the Religious of Jesus Mary Order. As a religious, she studied philosophy, theology, and the Normal Superior in Language and Literature. In 1970, as director of the primary school Regina de Mexico, inspired and transformed the methodology to raise the educational level. The Confederation of Private Schools asked her to give a course and sent her to conduct research in Europe. In 1974, she was sent as a superior of the religious community, and she wanted to focus to help and dedicate herself to the less favored. She decided to leave the religious life to found what we now know as the Central Rural and Education Center. She began to diversify its educational offerings: high school, childcare school, community development. Since 1989, she has served an intercultural community made up of bilingual indigenous youth from different ethnic groups, with a 77.3% completion rate, much higher than the national average. She is currently working on the continuous evaluation of this educational movement methodology, which is seen as an urgent and feasible solution to strengthen the economy, welfare, and social integration of the indigenous and rural communities of our Mexico. This evening, the honorary doctorate is conferred for a lifetime of commitment to the native peoples, the preservation of the indigenous languages, and rural development through the integral and integrative educational thread. A higher education model that promotes meaningful learnings based on multicultural and multilingual nature of the Mexican nation. Her model seeks the permanence of individuals in their place of origin, to promote through education the dignity of the indigenous people. Each recipient receives a medal, symbol of the College of Doctors of our university. Ladies and gentlemen, Doctor Honoris Causa of Universidad La Salle, María Dolores Morales Pérez. To entertain this ceremony, I give you the Ensamble de Bellas Artes with a wide career in our country and abroad. Tonight they are conducted by Maestro Gerardo Guadarrama Martínez. They will interpret for us Intermezzo Calaveria Rusticana by Pietro Mascagni and Ariane Sondorma from Turandot in the voice of Gerardo Reynoso.
la fredda stanza, guardi le stelle che tremano d'amore e di speranza. Il mio mistero è chiuso in me, il nome mio nessun saprà, sulla tua che dirò quando la
Now, ladies and gentlemen, we will link up to chapter of the La Salle University in Manila, Philippines. There will be Brother Bernard Oka, Rector of La Salle University of Manila in the Philippines, and Carmelita, whom we greet. En este momento, nos enlazaremos hasta la capilla de la Universidad La Salle en Manila, Filipinas. Allá se encuentra el hermano Bernard Oka, rector de la Universidad La Salle de Manila, en Filipinas, y Carmelita, a quienes saludamos. Good morning, Carmelita in Manila. How are you doing today?
Good morning. I would like to congratulate Universidad La Salle México on its 60th founding anniversary.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure and honor having you with us today. Thank you. I invite you to learn about the career of Carmelita Kebenchko. Les invito a conocer la trayectoria de Carmelita Kebenchko.
University Fellow at the La Salle University, where she also currently serves as Senior Consultant to the President of the La Salle University. She has had a challenging and colorful professional journey,
from being a classroom teacher at La Salle Green Hills High School to becoming a faculty member of the Graduate School of Education at the La Salle University. Director of its University Research Office, Chair of the Educational Leadership and Management Department, Associate Dean of the College of Liberal Arts, Founding Dean of the De La Salle College of St. Benilde, Academic Vice President, then the first woman Executive Vice President of the university, where she also became its first lay and woman president in 2003. After her retirement from the university in 2008, she served De La Salle Philippines as its Executive Vice President, then appointed by the Superior General of the Christian Brothers as Co-Secretary of the Lasallian Education Mission Office of the Institute of the Christian Brothers in Rome, Italy. She obtained a Monbusho Scholarship at Kobe University in Japan, Ford Foundation Grant on Indigenous Education in the United States, and a Freeman Fellowship in Salzburg, Austria in 1998 and 1999. She has been conferred 2 honorary doctorate degrees in Educational Leadership and Management by St. Mary's University of Minnesota in the United States in 2010 and by St. Mary's College of California in 2018. She was likewise bestowed the highest honor that a lay person can receive from the Christian Brothers Institute as an affiliate of the Brothers of the Christian Schools. As an educator, she has consistently lived her commitment to the Lasallian mission of service to the marginalized. Her research on Philippine indigenous education gave rise to the establishment of the Fundación Hanunuo Mangyang School in the uplands of southern Mindoro, where she developed a culturally specific basic education program for the poorest Hanunuo Mangyang children. Established in 2004, she helped supervise and develop the school until her retirement in 2008.
Receives the distinction of Doctor Honoris Causa tonight
Recibe
for her adherence and commitment to the work of La Salle, the art, transformative learning, and quality academic formation, together with her educational projects and tireless work on behalf of persons with disabilities and indigenous communities. She is also testimony to the leadership role of lay persons and women in the Lasallian educational mission. The honorary doctorate from Universidad La Salle is presented to Carmelita Quebenchko. Esta noche recibe la distinción de doctora honoris causa por su adhesión y compromiso con la obra del Señor de La Salle, las artes, el aprendizaje transformativo y la calidad académica transformativa, aunado al liderazgo
Each recipient receives a diploma, a legal and official document accrediting her as Doctor Honoris Causa. Now we will see the professional career and background of Lucio Tasser. Brother Lucio Tasser was born in January 1935 in Mexico City. In 1960, he took his perpetual vows with the Brothers of the Christian Schools. He studied primary education, literature and physics at the Normal Superior, theology and the Letran University, a master's degree in university at La Salle México, and the spirituality program at the International La Salle Center in Rome. He has dedicated his life to teaching and La Sallian institutions. He was principal of Benavente School, Simón Bolívar High School, and Cristóbal Colón School in Lomas Verdes. At La Salle University, he was director of the Pedagogy Center, academic secretary, and director of the preparatory school. He was vice rector and president in 1991 to 2000. Thanks to him, La Salle México was transformed with a vision for the future. The educational offering were expanded. The office of the Vice President for Formation was created, and the internationalization was promoted. He also founded the Mexican Academy of Bioethics. New La Salle universities were founded thanks to him in Cuernavaca, Cancún, Morelia, and Ciudad Obregón. He is also associated with governmental sectors, which he has strengthened. He was visitor of the District of Antilles, Mexico, South Mexico from 2005 to 2011. He was advisor to the President's Office on the Board of Governors and has participated in different councils in Mexico City, Nezahualcóyotl, Pachuca, Cancún, and Morelia until 2020. He has received 2 doctorates, honorary doctorates in educational leadership from St. Mary's University, Minnesota, and he received the Cross of the Mexican Order of Law, Culture and Peace from the Mexican Academy of International Law, of which he is member. The honorary doctorate is presented to him for his adherence and commitment to the Lasallian educational mission since his youth as a teacher of many generations, for the visionary animation of various educational institutions, and as a promoter of the national and international linkage of the mission with the educational, business, social, and governmental sectors. Furthermore, with his deep humanistic Christian sense, he promoted the development of bioethics by founding the Mexican Academy of Bioethics. Each recipient receives a hug from our highest authorities as a symbol of an eternal testimony of affection, thus remaining linked to this educational institution. Ladies and gentlemen, Doctor Honoris Causa of Universidad La Salle, Lucio Tasser de Escriba.
I invite you to know the career of Robert Schiller. Les invito a conocer la trayectoria.
Brother Robert Schiller was elected Superior General of the Brothers of the Christian Schools, De La Salle Brothers, at the 45th General Chapter on May 20, 2014. He is the 27th successor of St. John Baptist de La Salle, founder of the Institute and patron saint of educators. Previously, he served as General Counselor for the Lasallian region of North America from 2007 to 2014, after serving as visitor of the Baltimore District from 2001 to 2007. Before becoming visitor, Brother Robert was the Director of Education for the United States Toronto region. He also served as Executive Secretary for the Regional Education Board and College Presidents Association. Prior to these roles, Brother Robert served for 7 years as Assistant Visitor and Director of Education for the Baltimore District. A missionary to the Philippines for 11 years, he has served in a variety of administrative positions, from assistant principal to superintendent of schools. A delegate to the 45th General Chapter in 2014, he also attended the 44th General Chapter in 2007, the 43rd General Chapter in 2000, and the 42nd General Chapter in 1993. He has sat on several boards, including St. Mary's University of Minnesota and Bethlehem University. He is a graduate of La Salle College, now La Salle University in Philadelphia, where he has also served on the Board of Trustees. In 2018, he was one of 2 brother superiors to attend Pope Francis' Synod on Faith, Youth, and Vocational Discernment at the Vatican. Brother Robert was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He is the oldest of 7 siblings. He took the religious habit on September 1, 1968, in Amendel, Maryland. He was first introduced to De La Salle Christian Brothers as a student at West Catholic Boys High School, now West Catholic Preparatory High School in Philadelphia. He holds a master's degree in European history from the University of Notre Dame, as well as a doctorate in educational administration from the University of Pennsylvania. The recipient of 6 honorary doctorates, Brother Robert has published articles in Religious Life and academic journals. Brother Robert, who is from the District of Eastern North America, is the 3rd American brother to serve as a Superior General.
It is the distinction of Doctor Honoris Causa tonight for his consecration to education based on the charism of Saint Jean-Baptiste de La Salle. With his unquestionable leadership, he has guided and accompanied educational institutions during times of global uncertainty. For his missionary work as Superior General, he has promoted reflection on the identity, vitality, and relevance of Lassallian works in the 21st century. In addition to various initiatives of solidarity and cooperation to build a more equal and just world, the honorary doctorate from Universidad La Salle is presented to Robert Schiller. Esta noche,
recibe la distinción de doctor honoris causa por su consagración a la educación desde el país de San Juan Bautista de La Salle. Con su indiscutible liderazgo, ha guiado y acompañado a las instituciones educativas durante momentos de incertidumbre global. Por su labor misionera como
Ladies and gentlemen,
Damas y
the honorary
caballeros,
board from La Salle University, Robert Schiller.
el doctor honoris
Señoras y
causa por la
señores.
Universidad La Salle, Robert Schiller. Please give a warm round of applause to the 6 new Doctors Honoris Causa of Universidad La Salle. On behalf of the new honorary doctors, Dr. Carlos Gabriel Gómez Restrepo delivers the acceptance speech. Good evening. Universidad La Salle in Mexico City has never ceased to amaze me. It is an educational institution for which I have enormous affection for its history, its academic proposal, its impact on the country, and of course, for its people, many of them my soul friends. To be here at this moment addressing these words is another surprise. Undeserved, without a doubt, but exciting. Ulsa is the Dean of Lasallian Universities in Latin America. The visionaries who dreamed it up never imagined that they were also opening a very fertile path for the Lasallian educational mission in the continent. There are many of us who have drunk from this first source. The honor conferred on us is very significant. In the university world, we know what this distinction entails. The Lasallian mission, in its almost 350 years, continues to renew and recreate itself. This year, we have proposed to rethink ourselves inspired by utopia as a possible dream. I cannot deny that the word is part of my soul, among other things because I grew up in a utopian generation, and the meaning of this word has a powerful meaning in political philosophy. Moreover, a utopia that remains in Colombia is a dream come true. Utopia is often defined with chimeras or unrealizable dreams. The concept was coined by Thomas More in his immortal book Utopia, and there he describes an island where it was possible to live peacefully and to find opportunities for women and countrymen that were excluded at the time. It is not about a fable. It was and still is a horizon with a path. The conviction that hope is also the midwife of history, and not only war, as Marx said, and that the goodness of men and women is also part of their nature. The utopian thinking of More has been recognized and criticized. Utopias turning into ideologies are blamed for the great tragedies of history because the obsession to make them come true has generated millions of deaths in its wake. Marxism and Nazism towards a utopia. And it is also the essence of Christianity. So utopia is an attitude to reimagine the future, dreams, denunciation, and proposal. But if utopia is the horizon and the engine of our searches, in education it must become the driving force and inspiration of our life and of university life. Hope is not the same as optimism. It is a virtue of the soul that drives us to live God's plan and the generous surrender to a mission to which we are called. This implies commitment, serenity, joy, the ability to spread joy, to heal pain, and to dream horizons walking with others, to ask ourselves, what else can we do to make a better world? Brother Robert dedicated his recent message to hope, in which he beautifully expresses that Saint La Salle is our model of fidelity in adversity and in the strength of new beginnings. The challenges of today, like those of the past, require us to be men and women of faith that are constantly seeking creative responses to the need to relight both our fraternal life and our apostolic ministry. I would like to think that our universities are sources of utopias and hope. In Latin America and Africa, it is urgent to build utopias that rekindle the passion for a prophetic and proactive university that will respond to the harsh realities of our peoples. It is undeniable that exclusion, violence for the poor are our daily reality. Joseph Stiglitz, one of the most respected contemporary economists, stated that inequality is an option. It's a choice, not something inevitable. And he also said that an unbalanced economy and state generates an unbalanced individuals. And he expressed clearly that the current crisis is not an economic crisis, it's an ethical crisis. In the first weeks of 2020, we were far from imagining the dramatic impact of the pandemic in the world. We all have been witnesses of the pain, death, the economic crisis, the educational situation of the world, the loss of hope, the distrust in institutions. We were very creative, and our universities and institutions were able to reach students with current technologies so as not to stop processes. What a blessing. But what about the poorest? Those who work in our countries, in rural areas, and in the marginality of the megapolis, know that most children and young people lost 2 years of schooling, with consequences that will last forever. Last week, CEPAL said that Latin America went backwards so many years in educational terms, and the pandemic has allowed us to recognize realities that are impossible to ignore. It has questioned the concepts of development, sustainability, economic growth, and it has currently unveiled the reality of work without guarantees. a real a reality, a social global reality that is not cannot be sustained politically, economically, or ethically. The immoral concentration of wealth and the hijacking of the public sector to serve private interests are structural sins that will imply rethinking economic models. The destruction of the common house and the merciless depredation of Mother Earth come together as allies of these rampant and scandalous dynamics of violence, inequity, social unrest. There are those that have measured the economic impact of public policies, as well as those that have reviewed the historical and cultural tendencies that explain the validity and permanence of inequality. I believe that many papers have helped us to understand and put into context the difficult history we have lived, and the coming years should be creative approaches to reality in order to overcome violence, social injustice, and exclusion. And we can be able to speak of peace and just societies. I understand that it is easier to be a historian than a prophet. However, it is necessary to take risks. We are forced to generate approaches that change many inertias and modify social dynamics. The respect for human rights, the same economic models that little consider solidarity as a value. If we are faced with an ethical crisis, with inequitable societies, it is urgent that we commit ourselves to confront these realities in our educational process and proposals. So beyond these words and speeches, we need to review whether our university environments foster a humanism that makes us grieve for the suffering of others. I always wonder if these reflections are present in our daily life. Although our inspirational frames contemplate them, our action or inaction could help to replicate models. A university that does not critically rethink itself ends up being aseptic. Marta Nussbaum is right when she invites universities to go back to humanism, to questioning, to proposing. And she has reminded us that cultivating the capacity for reflection and critical thinking is essential to keep democracy alive. Let us remember that the university is an essential part of the critical conscience of our countries. On the other hand, the humanism that nourishes us is that inspired by the gospel. Pope Francis has surprised us with his magisterium, which is certainly far from being simple. Fratelli Tutti is a vademecum of Christian humanism. It is rooted in spirituality or fraternity. Pope Francis talks about commitment and firm steps. So I like to think that it is not difficult to be creative in our countries. There is so much to do, and it is just a matter of rethinking new proposals for educational innovation, social transformation, the service to populations that are not attended by less aliens like indigenous people, people who live in rural areas to be sources of hope with creativity and the capacity of reapplying helpful models to reshape our institutes, not only in the protection of the rights and defense of the rights of children, but also in the creative and disruptive commitment to the service of the poor and the cause of justice. Universities could define projects in which explicit peace-building proposals are shown, of social responsibility efforts where there are components that promote inclusion and critical thinking, along with a humanistic and ethical load that is not the Cinderella of the curriculum. It is about joining wills aimed at improving the living conditions of most vulnerable people, transferring technologies, educational mediations, and science to impact production and strengthen the social fabric. The Declaration on the Lasallian Mission in the 21st century has been quoted by our Superior General, our commitment to what is deeply human and to an education that is coherent with reality forces us to overcome the temptation to create or maintain successful schools and universities. Schools and universities that will fail due to their inability to update themselves and respond to societies that are transforming. The Lasallian proposal, fueled by faith, hope, ardent zeal, transcends the self-preferentiality temptation and commits itself to the causes of humanity and the permanent cause of the Church. In short, the Lasallian universities have to conjugate three verbs if they want to be significant in today's world: to believe, to create, and to risk. To believe that with our mission we can impact the lives of our students. To believe that education transforms. To believe in humanity, and to believe in the good Lord who inspires us and constantly calls us to cultivate a deep spirituality that spreads humanism and hope. We have to believe that education is and will be the best way, the only nonviolent way to impact politically and to build paths to avoid and overcome explosion, to create opportunities and paths to promote peace, justice, and equality, to generate new educational proposals that will strengthen the human, the fraternal solidarity, the sustainable development, and of course to create real projects where the educational service of the poor is evident and replicable in the university world. To take risks, that is, to go out of our comfort zones and bet on new projects that touch the heart of the problems of our peoples, that will help generate life and hopes. This is not only a speech on ethics, equity, justice, and peace, but university meditations. To make them possible, we must take the risk for the poor, to provide them quality education. Surely we will not change the world, but we will make it more livable. It is precisely with the doctors with whom I share this happy ending, those who really know about believing, creating, and risking. And as I wrote these words, I thought about a lecture entitled On the Shoulders of Giants. I understood that I was here, on this podium, on the shoulders of giants. Many ideas came to my mind. Who in Latin America, in the universities and schools, has not come across the enormous academic production of Frida Díaz Barriga? Her research is impressive. She talks about virtual education, which is reference and important to include in curriculum. Thank you, Dr. Frida, for helping to build the educational thinking of the continent. When I think of rurality and the many obstacles that we face in our countries for inclusion and making the dream come true that our indigenous people can have opportunities, I think of the name María Dolores Pérez. This is the educational space that has given meaning to my life as a brother. Dr. María Dolores, thank you for your passion and love for peasants. The Philippine Lasallian University system is a reference in the Lasallian world with enormous universities and consolidated research systems that is recognized worldwide. Carmelita Cuevenco has been a great pivot for the strengthening and expansion of educational mission. And she's a recognized leader in La Salle University in Manila. Dr. Carmelita, thank you for being so committed to your work. When I look at the history of La Salle, Mexico City, and the moments of creativity and contributions to its history, I think of Brother Lucio Tasser, about his educational commitment that has gone beyond and inspired so many Lasallians. Brother Lucio, my brother, gratitude for your friendship, support, and so much good done in the institutions that eliminate the Lasallian mission. In English, they say last but not least, and our brother Superior General honors us with his presence and his career as an educator of many years and in different scenarios, from his dedication in educational institutions in the United States. Today, as leader of the Lasallians, he inspires us to continue being sources of hope and creators of utopias in the service of justice. Dr. Robert, my brother, recognition and enormous gratitude for what you have meant to the Lasallian world and in particular in my life. Now you understand, my friends, why tonight I am on the shoulders of giants. Brother Pedro Alvarez, Chairman of the Board of Governors, thank you for your generosity in granting us the honor of being doctors from this institution. Brother Francisco Flores, President, thank you for your friendship and for summoning us. Brother Andrés Govela, Brother Carlos Castañeda, thank you for your friendship, for your mission in Yalu and the Lasallian mission. Dear professors, brothers, students, alumni, staff members of Universidad La Salle, your presence tonight fills us with pride and gives us joy and hope. Friends all, thank you. Thank you very much, and may the good Lord bless you. Thank you, Brother Gomez Restrepo. Now I invite Brother Pedro Alvarez Arenas, Chairman of the Board of Governors, to deliver his message to the university community. Dear Brother Robert Schiller, Superior General. Dear honorary doctors of our university, dear Brother Francisco and members of the Board of Governors, dear brothers, partners, presidents, deans, directors, authorities, and friends all in La Salle. Dear university community represented by those present in this auditorium and who are following us virtually, to celebrate is a sign of vitality. We celebrate to give thanks and to continue to do better what we remember with grateful memories. The celebrations are at once root, seed, and fruit of hope. In the framework of 60 years of La Salle in higher education in Mexico and commemorating the founding of Universidad La Salle México, today we rejoice with all La Sallian educators and partners from kindergarten and preschool to postgraduate level for the fruits of evangelizing education in our country, Latin America, and in the world. Upon their arrival in Mexico in 1905, the first La Sallian brothers from France offered before Saint Mary of Guadalupe all the good that would be done in the present and in the future through education of de La Salle in Mexico. And today, 117 years before, that seed is a fruitful tree of varied fruit. The presence of our brother superior at this event is a sign of unity and solidarity of the La Sallian world in this area of the Institute, which is the district of Antilles, South Mexico, which in community with North Mexico and the districts of the La Sallian Latin American region, we encourage in schools, colleges, and educational centers, always trying to help those who need it the most. We once again congratulate and acknowledge today's distinguished recipients for their contributions to humanity in the educational, academic, and management fields. Thank you for being a living testimony for those of us who dedicate ourselves to education, particularly in the Sallian institutions. We thank God for the gift that we have received from Him to be vocational educators, a credible, close, and loving presence of God for others, especially to the poor. In recognizing 6 educators, we recognize the women and men, brothers and partners, who for more than 340 years have made the La Sallian educational mission possible, making utopia a possible dream. Together with them, we rethink education for next generations. Universidad La Salle México and its sister institutions want to continue responding to the signs of the times, based on the challenges posed by the Global Compact on Education, to which Pope Francis invited us, and the declaration of the La Sallian educational mission. As we approach our 46th General Chapter and the 3rd International Assembly of the La Salle educational mission, this 60th anniversary wants to revitalize the social responsibility of education, to inspire, to create, to transform as a community that transcends is our challenge. We need to innovate, to better love and serve. In this event, in the first 60 years of Universidad La Salle and of La Salle and higher education in Mexico, we assume the past with gratitude and humility, the present with joy and solidarity, and we look into the future with hope, encouraged by the work of God. We recognize and thank those who have given the best of their lives among us. Thank you for making a dream come true. With today is a beautiful reality. The 88,000 graduates that we've mentioned are multipliers and forgers of actions of social transformation in the communities they serve, offering their testimony and quality of life as a result of their integral formation in the construction of more humane, just, fraternal societies where the poor and marginalized have new opportunities for dignity and improvement in all the dimensions of their lives. So we are happier by making happy others, integrating human promotion, culture, science, technology, social, and transcendent aspects based on faith, fraternity, and service is our commitment, the commitment that all LaSallians renew day by day in our institutions. The comprehensive quality education is the engine of social mobility. This strengthens democracy. Research projects at the service of social welfare, overcoming marginalization, and eradicating poverty, deepening the understanding of social and political processes, developing the capacity for analysis and critical thinking, turning doubts into a search engine are other challenges to which we respond from our LaSallian spirituality pedagogy. Our beloved university was the first LaSallian university in Mexico and Latin America. Today, the 14 sister universities in Mexico, as a network of La Salle universities, contribute to university life and at the international level, integrated with YALU with more than 70 universities. From the time of our holy founder until today, it is in the educational mission and in the associative dynamism of the community that our work for the good of individuals and societies has been forged. Thanks to our innovation vision, our faith in the goodness of the human being, and our commitment to children and young people, we can move forward to new horizons, the demanding horizons and fascinating of the 21st century in this post-COVID era. The conviction that a better world is possible moves us, and thinking that God acts through us encourages us along the way. Congratulations, dear university community of Universidad La Salle in Mexico, and to the whole country for this celebration. Congratulations, honorary doctors. Together and in association, we thank God. We rejoice in the presence of Virgin Mary and the protection of Saint Joseph, patron of the LaSallian family. We continue to accompany ourselves, who continue to accompany ourselves in this path. Thank you all and congratulations on these first 60 years. In Divisa Manus. We thank Brother Pedro Alvarez Arenas for his message. Please rise to sing the La Salle anthem with fervor and respect. Now I ask the Chairman of the Board of Governors to adjourn the public session of the Board of Governors.
Siendo las 20 horas con 9
At
minutos
8 p.m.
del martes 22 de febrero del
on Tuesday, February 22nd,
Debido a todo el tiempo
2022, and having exhausted the only item on the agenda, I declare the open session of the Governing Board adjourned. Thank you all. Please rise to bid farewell to our authorities. thank you for your assistance on this honorary doctorate conferment ceremony within the framework of the 60th anniversary of the La Salle Higher Education in Mexico and of this institution. This is how here at Universidad La Salle we strengthen our social commitment with those who promote social, cultural, civic values, humanities, science, and arts. With a great impact for humanity. Let's keep celebrating in community our first 60 years of inspiring, creating, and transforming. For those who followed us through our social media, we will finish the live broadcast. Good evening, Indivisa Mane.